Coming up this week on Beyond the Vibe, we're joined by Rob Angelico of Piston.
I was in a band for like 6 or 7 years, and I shouted a lot of the time. You know, I wasn't actually singing, and people were like, "Oh man, that's amazing! Like, how can you shout constantly for 45 minutes?" You know, and I used to get headaches and stuff. There was no technique, and we've got a new song now. And it's been so long since we've had a new song. And Dave from King Creature came to the Cornwall gig the other day, and he was loving it. He was, I love the new song, you know, and it was great to hear someone like him say he liked it. So I was speaking different languages, like accents in between songs, and, like American and Irish, Scottish. I was doing them all, and the band were like, "Oh no." They're so embarrassed. I just wanted the world to swallow them up.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Vibe, the show that cuts deep into the world of music.
My name is Aaron Day, lead guitarist of UK band These Wicked Heroes, and I'm here with music videographer and photographer. It's Mr. Ryan Vitti.
It is. We're still on one mic. We thought we'd resolve the problem, but it turns out that we haven't. But we still charge forward as always. But we have a little bit of a strange story to tell this week. Right, I was out having a meal with my family, and got chatting to this the guy that's like a server there, and we ended up having this bizarre conversation on his experiences. Like he's a big music fan, so he ended up actually signing up to the podcast and stuff. I mean, I'm out there. I'm out on the streets
recruiting.
yeah. No, he's quite a big fan. He said for us to go out and get Muse. So he's potentially in the next few weeks, maybe. But yeah, he was saying. I mean, I never thought that the hospitality industry would be this vicious for one individual, right? And he spoke about this is like, you're not talking like really low end kind of restaurant where it's quite rough. It's like it's decent size, exactly, right? But it's not extraordinarily expensive either. But you know what I mean. Now he's been confronted by a guy in the past that made a homemade taser just to get out of paying the bill, which I think is absolute lunacy. A homemade. I mean, I don't know how you make a homemade taser in the first place. I don't know how that works. And then the second one, a guy to try and complain about the food, rather than just go, this isn't my thing, or whatever. No, he went outside. This is why this other chap was watching him do it. He went outside, he got a glass, smashed the glass, then brought the shattered glass back in, put it in his food, and tried to say that they brought out a meal with shattered glass in it. Yeah. So this guy has been on a hell of a ride, but he has the most versatile taste in music I've ever heard. He's a major fan of Linkin Park and the Temptations.
Versatility's versatility's the key to life. That's the saying, isn't it? What is it? I mean, it's what. The variety is the spice of life. I mean, it's one of them with that story. I mean, once I put the glass in the meal, I didn't have to pay for it, and I got my money back. So I mean, it's nice he's retelling the story. He's telling the story again, but yeah, for some reason when you was telling that story, my immediate thoughts was of stories that people we've interviewed have probably got about something similar, but at gigs. And that kind of vibe. When it made me think of Anvil. Yeah. Do you know when they're not getting paid after gigs and stuff like that, and it's the lengths promoters won't go to. I mean, we're quite lucky on the scene because a lot of the promoters we work with are fans, so it's quite a good vibe. But yeah, I mean, I'm wonderfully polite, so I can't imagine people doing this. But yeah, I mean, he must have been really wanted a good meal, and then when he found out it was shit, he was that emotional. He just had to deal with it. Well, it's a shame we didn't ask the question to the boys that we've got on the show this week. Who are the boys we've got on the show this week?
we're joined by Rob Angelico of Piston, and that's kind of where I got the idea for that story. Because of course, we've interviewed Jack before in the past, where he spoke about their drummer launching himself over a bandstand, and as you say, it was like the things people do. You know? Yeah. So the theme of this week is the things people do.
I mean, one of the things I found very interesting with Rob was he's an interesting band, Piston, because you kind of got Jack's quite business minded, you know, wonderful guitarist, you know, doesn't drink, not much of the party guy, and tends to watch the rest of them get into different scenarios. And obviously with Rob being the lead singer, I was imagining this kind of Bon Scott kind of, you know, rugged party boy. But he was lovely, wasn't he? Very intelligent, very, you know, my favourite thing with Rob, as you see in the interview, is he kept thinking he was going to go into these massive long inspirational speeches and go, I don't know, or I don't know, maybe not, you know, and I love that. I thought that was awesome.
Yes, you know, it's quite an interesting little thing. I mean, he speaks about lots of little things that he was up to. In particular, there's a stage, I think he decided to do one night on stage, which you can find out all about now.
So we're here with Rob Angelico of Piston. Thanks for joining us, Rob.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No, absolute pleasure, mate.
Nice to be here.
So on this show, we like to go back to the origins of a musician.
Right.
So with that in mind, when was the first time you remember hearing music and thinking like, this is what I want to do? Did you have like a moment?
Not really. I had piano lessons when I was a kid, and I always had a guitar around, and I had like my mum's old LPs, and I listened to them, and just I know everything really, you know. Stones, Beatles, you know, Lou Reed. Then I'd like the Bad Manners, my brother's stuff, and like all these singles I used to listen to. So yeah, music was always like one of my things. And then I found AC/DC, and I was like 6 or 7, and that kind of changed things. And then Guns N' Roses and all that stuff, and that I was away. Yeah, Poison was probably the first album I bought on tape. And I thought it was cool because it had a tattoo on the front that said Poison, and I thought I'm having that. That was like my introduction into rock and roll, you know. That was
all them sort of bands are pivotal when you're that age, innit? Because it just seems like the fucking coolest thing in the world.
Exactly, yeah.
What in terms of, like you say, you had piano lessons and you were around music and you always had guitar. When did the introduction come to your voice to singing?
The voice. Well, I tried to sing, but I never really sung that well. And then, I don't know, you just have a guitar, you just play and you sing. And it wasn't like, I was singing, I was in a band for like 6 or 7 years. And I shouted a lot of the time, you know, I wasn't actually singing. And people were like, oh man, that's amazing. Like, how can you shout constantly for 45 minutes? You know, and I used to get headaches and stuff. There was no technique. And then, I don't know, I lived in a log cabin for 8 months, and I kind of found a soulful part of my voice, you know, and that kind of, there's no one around, and I'd be just singing, and so I found something there, and, you know, I'm a better singer now, you know, and you're always getting better, like, anyone can sing, I think, if you just do it every day, do it enough.
That's it. No. When you say around that kind of shouting into singing thing, I immediately think of Bon Scott. And Ryan, with DC, because it's that kind of different thing. It's a whole different way of using your voice, you know. And I think there's definitely some inspiration there from yourself. A new vocalist is always a difficult thing, kind of joining the band because you're the voice and the identity. We spoke to Jack a while ago. He was one of the first boys we had on the podcast. And he did say you were always the guy the band wanted. You know,
they asked like Jack was like 17, I think, when he first asked me, and I was like in the stage of thinking, right, I want to join a band that's like halfway there already. I don't want to have too much work to do, you know. But then they sent me some stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I wasn't in the right headspace. And then he asked me a few years later, you know, they got the other dude, and they got on Planet Rock, I think, with Leave If You Dare, which is on the album. I heard that, and I was like, let's have a jam. And then I went and had a jam, and we just got on, you know. the rest is history, really.
Perfect. Like you say, it was the perfect time for you as well, because you were looking for a band that had started to kind of lay the foundations. You know, it's a different thing. I know exactly what you mean, especially if you've been gigging in a band for a while and paid your own. You don't want to go through all that again, you know.
Exactly. I wanted to find a band that was kind of on their way to being established. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I did. Go in there. So.
Yeah, and it really feels like you went in there and had your own identity as well. You know, there was a lot of room for you to bring your own thing to it, and I think you fit really well with the Piston Boys as well.
Yeah, thanks. I tried. I auditioned for Heaven's Basement as well.
Oh, sick. We're big fans of it.
Yeah. And I really love their music, and I like the Heaven's Basement, Rob Angelico sort of vibe. But I messed up the audition massively.
Oh, fuck, man. What happened?
And Aaron got it, you know. But it wasn't meant to be. So
that's it.
It's all good.
We think you'd have been better than Aaron. Aaron, if you'd watching.
That's nice of you to say. Yeah, maybe there'd still be a Heaven's Basement if they'd have chosen me.
I mean, we've had Richie on the show a couple of times. The original,
he's great.
Evans, you know, and I imagine that being a nice development from him to yourself. But we'll move on from that. We don't want any bad vibes. But no, it's interesting.
It is. So this year, Piston released the live EP, Live If You Dare.
Yeah.
Live recordings is always kind of a different vibe. What was the thought process behind doing the live EP, and like how did you go about putting it together?
Well, we did a thing for we done a show, an online show in lockdown, and no one was there. I don't know what it was called. I can't remember what it was called. But someone put it on, and then we got a live recording of like all our songs. You know, and we were performing to a little red light, and we thought, why waste it? So we released an EP, got it all like mixed and stuff. And released it one by one.
Oh, it's a good way of making use of that, like particularly during lockdown as well.
Yeah,
you know, because obviously then you can get something out and begin to keep on riding on the momentum that you had probably before lockdown. Do you do it at KK Steel Mill?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, we've not played there yet, and it looks like a fucking killer.
Oh, it's great there. We supported Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons there. Yeah, we played there a few times actually over the years. But yeah, it's a great venue. You'll enjoy that. Yeah,
and obviously it's local to you boys, so no, it seems the perfect thing whacking out the live EP, and it's got a good reception.
It's local to them boys. I'm from down south.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I live in near Cambridge.
Right, okay.
But they're from the Midlands, and that's why we don't rehearse much.
Right.
Because it's so far away. And I was used to rehearsing like twice a week with my bands.
Yeah.
And I joined Piston, and it was like no rehearsals, you know, sporadically every 2 or 3 months we were doing it, you know, getting the set together.
Do you prefer that kind of, having gone from that intense thing?
Well, I kind of missed the rehearsing, and I missed it, to be honest, you know. And then I kind of got out. You know, if you're rehearsing on a regular basis, you get excited for new songs, and you know, you try new songs, and you've got the band there to bounce off of, and they say, "Oh yeah, that's good." And as a singer, you can feel the vibe, like if they're digging it or whatever, you know. But then all of a sudden, it's just I get sent some music, and I'm on my own. You know, I have to produce a song and send it to them. There's quite a bit of pressure, like with the first album, you know. But
because it's different, isn't it? You're not bouncing off each other in a practice room. When you're sending something, you're kind of putting yourself out there a little bit, aren't you? And you've got that awkward wait whilst you wait to see what everyone thinks of it. You know, it's in a practice room, you can tell straight away. As soon as everyone
and you can feel it.
Yeah, the vibing or not. So I know what you mean, because I've the same thing with the Rivers boys. I'll send them something, and I won't hear anything for 3 days. It's like, well, everyone thinks it's dog shit then.
Yeah, it's hard. and then I find myself being overly critical. So I'd be producing stuff, and then I'd be like, oh no, it's not good enough to send. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if I was in a rehearsal space, I'd be like, you'd be feeling it, or even if I was writing with other members of the band there, for them to say, oh, that's good, or you know, but I'd find myself just overthinking it and then not sending it.
That's it, and people will see potential in stuff that you don't think's ready yet. Like Jack might see an idea there that the band can grow and can blossom into something else. That's what we do, you know, and it is difficult. Obviously, with that in mind, though, you'll probably be sick of them after because you got the UK tour coming up with Bad Touch.
Yeah, with Bad Touch, which is an amazing thing, really, you know. because I was giving them boys gigs when they first started out back in 2011. You know, I used to run an event called Jacked Up and Live at the Fiddler's Elbow in Camden.
Right.
And yeah, they'd come down and we had Four Wheel Drive, who's a City of Thieves now.
Yeah.
New Generation Superstars, Burning Crows. You know, it was a little scene, you know, Bad Touch when they first started out. And yeah, it was really nice, you know. But yeah, it's nice. And now we're going on tour with them, which is like crazy. You know?
Yeah, I bet you can't wait as well, particularly because of obviously lockdown. And I know you boys have kind of, you know, done a few things here and there, but to actually fully go out and reconnect with the fans.
Yeah, and it's been a tour that's been postponed for like 2 years.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, we're pumped for it. I can't wait.
It feels like a great duo as well. You know, we said before we came on for the interview, you know, two bands complement each other really well. I mean, when we interviewed Stevie, he kind of teased that there's a lot of fucking like drunken tour stories that's happened across the years, you know.
Yeah.
Two bands, so I'm sure we'll write some more tour stories.
Yeah, we've been a few times. Yeah, the Piston boys are a bit wild sometimes, you know.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I can't say much.
You're all right.
When it comes to gigging, is there any particular songs that like you really look forward to playing?
Yeah, I like doing One More Day. I like doing Leave If You Dare. Yeah, they're probably the best ones. And we've got a new song now. And it's been so long since we've had a new song.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, 3 years or so. And yeah, we've done it a couple of times now. And we're getting a good response from that.
Awesome.
And Dave from King Creature came to the Cornwall gig the other day, and he was loving it. He was, I love the new song, you know, and it was great to hear someone like him like say he liked it.
Yeah, man.
I thought it was a bit Red Hot Chili Peppers, you know, a bit tame for us. But yeah, it went down well. And I enjoy doing that. So
it's a whole nother feeling in it when you've got new material, because I always get that little bit of anticipation, because obviously particularly when you're taking it out for the first time, see how people react to it. So it's badass that people are vibing off it, definitely.
That's it. And we've only gone through it as a band like twice at gigs now, and probably like 3 times in a rehearsal, you know. And like we've done it, you know.
That's pretty good test.
It's sounding good.
Yeah, no, look.
When are we going to play with you guys?
Well, when are we going to play with you boys?
Yeah, I don't know. We need to sort it out.
I don't know, man. We fucking. I was saying to Ryan beforehand. I think we've played together on festivals across the years, because we must.
I'm sure we have.
I just don't think we've ever actually nailed it down, you know, and kind of done anything together. I mean, the closest you'll get is me and Ryan are going to head out to one of the shows on the tour.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think we'll come down to the Bodega and do something saucy.
Okay. Is that Nottingham?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, cool. That's a good place.
Yeah, so because I've never seen you boys.
Okay.
It's mad when you think of how close the scene is. Like, same with Bad Touch. Like, I know Stevie quite well, but I've never watched Bad Touch. Which is
it's because we're always doing gigs ourselves.
Yeah,
you know, it's hard to go out. You know, if there's a band playing in Cambridge or close to me, I'll go and see them if I can. But because we're gigging so much, you know, and we see so many gigs, it's hard.
I know it sounds bad, but when you've been gigging for so, like, you've just done a tour, like the last thing I want to do is go to another gig. I mean, we went to see Robert John in the Wreck in the middle of the tour.
We did. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, cool.
It's fucking one of them.
Oh, great.
Got to keep away from it. So in terms of kind of your identity as a frontman, Rob, like you say, you got that inspiration from DC and Poise and stuff. What do you bring into your character or your persona as a performer? Like, because I think you've got quite an iconic look, man. Like, you know, that fits really well into Piston. You know, what goes into that? What inspires you?
Well, I try and smile when I'm singing. I don't swear in any of the songs. And I try and have there to be a good vibe and a message, you know, that's not bad, because I'm singing these songs all the time, and I'm a great believer in you know, affirmations and stuff. And if I'm singing the same thing over and over again, you know, I want it to be good, positive energy, you know, and if I'm singing it to people, other people especially, I want to give them something nice or a good vibe, or I want them to feel something good out of it. So that's quite a big focus when I'm writing the songs.
No, I like that.
You know?
That's a different.
And I hope that comes across.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a different answer that we normally get for that sort of question. I like the fact that that's something you really want to give people, particularly now, obviously, because we've not had gigs. You know, people are going to gigs, and I think there's a bit of a euphoric experience for them. You know, to go back to people and doing, you know, watching bands that they love. You know, smiling's a big thing. I'm a big believer in that, because when you watch
It's infectious.
it is. I remember seeing Sabbath when they went on the reunion tour, and Tony looking over at Ozzy, because Ozzy was being a prat as usual, and just him looking over and smiling at him with that enjoyment and that love, you really makes you feel like you're part of it, because you're seeing true you know, like human emotions.
Yeah, I never smile usually in everyday life. Very rarely I ever smile. So I try and get all my smiling done on the stage.
We'll go to see Piston now. It'll just be like a massive like Joker smile. The whole gig.
Frightening the audience.
And I was doing a thing the other day where I've had a few drinks and I was speaking different languages, like accents in between songs, and, like American and Irish, Scottish. I was doing them all, and the band were like, "Oh no." They're so embarrassed. I just wanted the world to swallow them up. And Luke was like, "Oh, please, can you just talk normal, Rob? Because like it's really embarrassing." But like it's like I don't wear a hat anymore, and I used to have a hat to hide behind, because I'm quite shy, really, believe it or not. And I was using accents after like 3 or 4 pints, you know. So I thought it was quite good, but I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
When we come see you in Nottingham, we'll get you a couple of drinks before you go on.
We need all of the accents.
I don't think I'll be. Yeah, I'll do them to you, but I can't do it. I can't do it on stage. No,
boys will.
I need to be a bit sensible on this tour, I think, because we're singing quite a lot. Like I'm going to be singing every night for 2 weeks, and I think if I drink too much, you know, I'm going to have to pick the moments to indulge. Otherwise, I'll be in trouble. But I sing quite well when my voice is knackered, really. I get a bit husky, you know. Even when I've got a lost voice, I can still blurt out something, you know. So
that's a good skill to have.
I'll be all right.
Yeah, because I'm like with the boys in Rivers, like he struggles if his voice is like tired, so he was really trying to keep it on point all through it, you know. And when you spoke about smiling, that was a big thing for me, because we spoke earlier, like if I've had a drink and then we go and play a show and I'd be hungover, I've just got to make it look like I'm having the best time ever.
Yeah,
I don't want it to come across that I'm not.
Just pretend you're okay,
pretend,
and then you are. You know,
exactly.
That's life. That's the message of life. You know what I mean? Just pretend you're all right. We all do that pretending we are anyway, you know?
That's it. We'll get Ryan to flash that on the screen when you say that in the video. We'll get just pretend you're all right, and then you'll be all right.
Just act okay. You'll be all right, you know?
You'll be a politician at this rate, Rob.
I was going to say.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I'm too pure.
Yeah, stay clear of that game, definitely. Check it out.
Oh, dear. Now we'd like to throw some weird questions at us.
Go.
So hypothetically, for Piston's next album, you've been told that you have to do another genre. What would that genre be?
Soul.
Soul.
Yeah, soul. Blues, soul.
Sick.
Yeah.
I love how quick you were for that.
Yeah, you knew straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, punk could be cool, because obviously, like you said, you had your brother had the bad manners stuff.
Yeah,
is that very much part of your sort of upbringing, a bit of the punk?
Yeah, well, not really. No. I wouldn't call bad manners punk.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'd call them a bit scarish.
Well, that shows my lack of understanding about.
I'd say the Sex Pistols was punk.
See, I always saw the Pistols as a bit more being like, I think that in terms of the image and what they tapped into, but if you musically, like, there's fucking some really good riffs in there, man. You know, it's kind of like, you know, and the guitar tones of Steve Jones are fucking awesome. You know, it's almost like classic rock with attitude. You know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I had a playlist shuffle one day, and it was like it was a Spotify one, and it was playing like 70s stuff, but like the alternative 70s stuff.
Yeah.
And Sid Vicious came on with doing that My Way, which I haven't heard for years. Have you heard him sing My Way?
No, I was nodding, but I've never heard it.
Oh, you've got to listen to that, man. That's really cool. Yeah, great version. Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Impression.
So the next album, if you had the choice, then we go for like a soul blues thing, and then the B side would be punk.
That's a wild.
Yeah, well, probably not actually. So B-side, the B-side would be like an instrumental.
How do you reckon the boys would take to that?
Yeah, they'd love it. Yeah, yeah. Or it'd be like a pop. Like a lot of the songs, like Luke's got a bit of a. Iggy loves Oasis.
Yeah.
And we're getting like the songs are getting a bit more happy, you know. And Luke's writing some good stuff, some good riffs. And they've got like a bit of a jumpy sort of nice vibe to them, you know. A bit poppy.
That's good. Yeah. It goes with the positivity as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Get the vibe.
I'll have to get my hair cut and start wearing suits.
So for folks who want to check the band out, obviously you've got the tour coming up with Bad Touch, which will be killer. Have you got anything else to the tail end of the year, or anything planned for next year? Any festivals that you?
No, we've got our Christmas do at Cannock at the station on the 3rd of December. And then I think that's it. There's an amazing tour happening next year, early next year, which I'm not allowed to say anything about.
Oh, no! I thought we were getting on, Rob.
I know, right. And there's some other stuff. You know, I think we've got the Thunder gig happening in our first stadium show.
That'd be amazing, man.
And we've been waiting for that for a few years now. And yeah, loads of exciting things happening, really.
Cool. No, we'll keep our ears to the ground for when that tour gets announced.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll play with you guys at some point next year.
Well, that'll be the highlight.
That'll be the best.
For us as well, man.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah,
we'll have a big piss up and then feel terrible.
We'll definitely do something. Well, I'll arrange something myself. Yeah,
make it happen. I mean, me and Jack talk about all the time about something happening.
Yeah,
it's just hard to make, like you say, because we're always.
You just got to book. All you got to do is book a venue and book a date. You know, done. I'll do the posters.
Yeah,
you know.
I like how you did like a pen, like
just crudely drawn in.
Yeah.
So
do a bit of toilet paper. Take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Poster.
Done.
I like that. It's going to happen then, isn't it? It's going to happen.
Yeah,
cool. Definitely. Just find the venue. As long as we're not gigging that night, we'll do it. Almost.
Nice. Yeah, it's well overdue, brother. Well overdue.
Now, one question that we like to finish on. It's a bit of a hypothetical one again. If you could tour with one band from the past and one band from the present, who would they be?
Okay, I'd like to tour with. In the past, it would probably have to be AC/DC. You know. And in the present, Bad Touch.
Well, it's a perfect combo, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It makes sense. What era of DC would you have? Are you more of a Brian or a Bon Scott, man?
I'd probably do a Bon Scott era.
Yeah, we're more Bon Scott, aren't we, man?
Yeah.
It's a bit.
I heard they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I always loved. Always loved Bon Scott. I think he had this soulfulness to his voice that Brian didn't really have. I mean,
I wouldn't mind going on tour with Queen as well if it was like an AC/DC Queen sort of double tour.
So you're getting greedy now.
Queen and AC/DC, that's the big ones.
I mean, I love early 70s Queen.
Yeah, amazing.
Everything for me, man. Like particularly like without going down a fucking rabbit hole. Like I can't go over how creative it is. Like I just think it blows my mind. Like I think
another level, mate.
Everyone should be inspired by the level that they reached, you know, because just pushing the boundaries completely compared to other bands, you know, and I think a lot of bands can take inspiration from it, you know. It's good to try things, you know, because I met a lot of the ideas that Freddie chucked out. If you look at Night at the Opera, Seaside Rendezvous and all that, you know, I bet people would, you know, laugh at it, but it's that's what makes a band classic and different, you know. So.
Yeah. Definitely. Led Zeppelin. I could go on. I'd just love to be with all these people. I heard there was a dark vibe around Led Zeppelin. You know, in their like rehearsals, and if you're around the band, I always heard there was a bit of a darkness to them. I'd like to experience that.
Experience,
you know, just to see what sort of vibe they had.
I'd love to have been around when they recorded Led Zeppelin 4 in the house. You know, when they rented out that house. I'm really romantic about the pictures of Robert Plant on like a bloody Royal Enfield, and they've got dogs around and stuff. It's just
awesome, man.
Around that, it's just fucking.
Humble Pie. Steve Marriott's one of my favourite singers. I would have spent time with him. Humble Pie.
That's cool.
Small Faces. You know. Oh man. That'd be great.
It's a pain in the arse being born a bit late, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? All the good bands, you know. But if the music wasn't so hard, there'd be a lot more, you know. I don't know. If there was more money in it, I think people wouldn't give up.
Yeah.
But people just give up these days because it's so impossibly hard to get anywhere unless you're minted.
Yeah, that's it. And I think the climate's changed, hasn't it? Like in the early 70s, I think people would commit themselves to the romance of it and want to push it.
Yeah, and you didn't have MTV, did you? Or TV as much, you know.
I think there's probably less politics, you know.
No Spotify.
You could solve a lot of things with a cricket bat in the early 70s.
Yeah. Like, it was simpler times.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know. Cool. So we've got to nail down a band for the old band. We've got Bad Touch, the new band. Who's your old band going to be? For one gig, it's you, Bad Touch. It's this tour.
Yeah.
But you can.
Yeah, it's AC/DC.
It's got to be, isn't it?
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Feels that way.
But what if Queen was an option?
No, probably AC/DC.
Right, cool. We're nailing it down. So we've got the Bad Touch tour.
Yeah.
We'll have the Bodega, night of the Bodega. We're coming to it.
That's going to be a ram.
All of a sudden, DC rock up.
Classic DC as well.
So we've got Bad Touch.
Classic DC. Wow.
It's going to be awesome. That's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It might happen tonight in my dream. I might dream about this.
Yeah, well, that's better than nothing. Isn't it, Rob?
Yeah.
You know, at least you could experience it then. Thanks ever so much for your time, man.
Yeah. No worries, guys.
Enjoy it, man. It was a good,
God bless you.
good laugh. Yeah, you too, man.
I'll see you. We'll do a show together soon.
Yeah, fucking would 100%. Yeah, 100%. So the tour kicks off on the 17th of November in Norwich.
It does.
See Bad Touch, and it runs all the way through till December the 2nd in Islington. And then on the 3rd, you've got your Christmas bash, haven't you?
Yeah, Christmas bash at the station in Cannock.
Amazing.
So,
right, we'll hopefully see you at the Bodega in Nottingham, brother.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. We'll have a beer.
Yeah, see you soon, mate.
Cool.
Wicked. Thanks, guys.
Bye. So yes, that was brother Rob Angelico from Piston. As you saw in the interview, he's a lovely bloke. He's, you know, not saying I was expecting him to be a lovely bloke. That's not what I'm saying, Rob. It's just we got on really well with him, and I loved his. My biggest thing for me, man, I always get into, because I've got such a love for like early 70s, mid 70s rock music, particularly Queen. I loved having that chat with him about, like, you know, Night of the Opera and that level of creativity that a lot of us bands should be aiming to kind of reach, you know. And that's one of the things that I push me and the Boys in Rivers in a lot, and I think the scene in general could maybe do with pushing it a bit more, you know, is like, how can we push ourselves to reach this level of creativity? I don't know, it's just something I took from the interview.
Yes, it was interesting because it's like he was much more like artistic than what I thought he would be, much more creative. You know, he was a dude. I mean, the interesting thing for me was he also had this kind of offbeat humor. As you said at the start of the program, that, you know, he'd lead you down this alley of like, I wonder what he's going to say. Like, wait for it. He's going to say something profound in a minute, and then he'd just cut it. He'd be like, "Nah, I don't know," and it would just end up nowhere. But it's like, I don't know. It's just, I thought he was an absolute dude. You know, you can't help but like him. I think that was the big thing that I take from him.
No, I agree completely, and we'll be doing our best to head out, you know, and see the Piston Boys with Bad Touch as well. Obviously, we've had Steve on the show. That'll be a great combo of them two bands, the Bodega. So yeah, looking forward to it, man. But if people have enjoyed Beyond the Vibe, you know, if we have a mixture of Rob and different guests on the show, where can they find Beyond the Vibe, Mr. Bates?
Well, you can find Beyond the Vibe. If you like us on Facebook, we reveal every guest that we have on a Wednesday from 10 a.m. and we release, of course, the podcast itself on a Saturday from 10 a.m. But if that isn't enough, I know. If that isn't enough, we also do things like Extra Vibes, and of course we've got our new show, Beyond the Gear, where we go out and chat and speak with various different guitarists and musicians about, of course, their gear. So there's that.
There is that, yes. I have to present that on my own. You leave me on the stage, and sometimes I can't even remember their names, but it doesn't come across. So that's all that matters, because I'm such a nerd when it comes to gear. But yes, click the bell, and then you never miss an episode. And as Mr. Vasey said, make sure you follow us on all the normal socials and join the vibe, and we will see you
next week.